So now that the All-Star break is over, the one topic that's getting hotter besides who is emerging as legitimate title contenders is who has a legitimate chance for MVP. The Greek Freak, who had previously won the last two, has been virtually non-existent this year, despite having better stats than his first MVP 2 seasons ago. This is a different year where it's almost a toss-up because no one has stood out as clear favorites or can keep a handle on the torch that the media keeps trying to hand them. One of them being LA Lakers and NBA darling LeBron James, who is always in the conversation but hasn't really been seriously considered since he last won it in 2013.
He's worth something more than 4 MVPs. I don't know if it should be 5, I don't know if it should be 7. I think the narrative, which as we know is so important in the MVP race, I think the narrative is on LeBron's side. And I think if he keeps playing this way, it's going to be very compelling for people like me.
As the media was getting ready to coast on and handing it over, Anthony Davis bruises his Achilles, leaving him out for multiple weeks. The plate was set out to really cement LeBron as MVP, but right out of the gate he stumbles to 1-4 in the first 5 games and 4-6 in the last 10. Kinda hard to give out an MVP if the team can't count on you to pick up the slack when a fellow star goes down. For some reason, Jokic is in the convo.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
I understand the MVP is a regular season award, but there's a sense that you're at least a contender for a title. I mean, it's an outstanding award awarded to a player with an outstanding year. And what has Jokic done this year that stood out from any other year when he was never mentioned for MVP? And Curry, y'all need to stop for real.
It's tripping.
I see what he's doing with his co-stars, but all I gotta say is he cashed in this year's MVP check in 2015. You better ask Harden what they didn't find acceptable.
I've gotten to the point where I think it would be an absolute crime not to give this man the vote because he hasn't had Dwight Howard for most of this season. You can barely name some of the other individuals on the squad with him. This man has Houston in position to capture the #2 overall seed in the Western Conference, where he has virtually done it single-handedly. I don't know how anybody can definitively vote against James Harden for league MVP honors. I just can't do it. I can't vote against him.
Another MVP would be Joel Embiid, who leads the 76ers team to a first place in the Eastern Conference.
Hakeem could never.
We've never seen a big guy with the ball on a string.
The 27-12 record so far, averaging 30 points, 11.5 rebounds, 3 assists, but once again, when it's time to overtake the conversation of MVP, that old injury bug that's plagued him in seasons past has reared its ugly head again. Suffering a bone bruise that will have him out, well, let's just say in 2 weeks he will be reevaluated. So the questions will come, will Embiid's injury cause the 76ers to drop in the standings? And the answer will of course be yes. But is it all that peculiar to think that they would have inevitably have lost the 1 seed? Because lurking just a half game back is the Nets. And one of the big reasons why is...
There goes that beard again.
James Harden. New city, same conversation. Once again, James Harden is having an MVP type year, and while they say his game has changed and is a more likable player, they don't want to get too ahead of themselves and give this man an MVP with their new anecdote of throwing in the towel in Houston, which is now being referred to as a chunk of the season.
Should James Harden be in the MVP conversation?
Fellas, no. I'm not going to look past a whole chunk of the season just to serve a narrative, the current narrative that fits best. If you're not there for the entirety of the season, I take that into consideration. Because there are some dudes that have been balling from the opening tip, not just balling from the tip after they got to where they wanted to. So no, James Harden should not be in the MVP conversation.
Well, that chunk is 8 games out of the 72 games that will be played this season, which should amount to about 11% of the season. Now, I don't know about you, but if someone said I was being greedy because I got a big old chunk of the pie when in actuality it's about 11%, now in these 8 games of throwing it in, that leads to another topic of conversation. Because within those 8 games, he's averaged 24.8 points, 5.1 rebounds, and 10.4 assists, which is very similar to his Brooklyn stats that ring out 25 points, 7 rebounds, and 11 assists. So you can say he quit all you want, but when he said,
"We're just not good enough," we don't obviously chemistry, talent-wise, just everything, and it was clear. I love this city. I literally, done everything that I can. This situation is crazy. It's something that I don't think can be fixed. So, yeah.
And now seeing that the Rockets are currently on a 16-game losing streak, while the Nets are about to snag first place with just himself and Kyrie, because KD has only played 7 games, can you blame him for wanting out of the Rockets?
This situation is crazy. It's something that I don't think can be fixed.
His coach Mike D'Antoni and general manager Daryl Morey are no longer there. And credit to them, when they would not let a 16-game losing streak, let alone a 3 to 5 game losing streak happen without making the necessary changes to keep them competitive. Harden jumped out of the inevitable dumpster fire while the season was early and can continue his journey for a chance at a title, all the while proving he can be the man to lead a team. The numbers Harden is dropping are insane, and he continues to prove that his basketball IQ is second to none.
But I wish I could just run and with 7 feet and run and just dunk. Like, that takes no skill at all.
And with an MVP paired with a title, should have people really considering, who have we really been overlooking this past decade? Cloud of hate. Now that he's out of Houston, more eyes and minds are open, and we won't have to wait till Harden retires to appreciate what he's able to do.
Being different doesn't really get appreciated until it works.
Yeah, or when I'm done. When it's all said and done, they'll appreciate it more.
Give a man his flowers while he's here. Don't wait till he's gone.
Do you think that in the end, a title is going to give you the respect that you think you deserve?
It is, and I will get it.
You feel confident about that?
Yes. Very.